Rahzar Origins, TMNT. Welcome back to our channel, and we are back with yet another entertaining video as we proceed with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Today, we will explore and talk about Rahzar and his origins.
Been a long time.
Oh man, Rahzar?
If you want to find out more about the other personalities from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you can check them out right here on our channel. Tokka and Rahzar are two mutants that have been bringing the half-shell heroes problems for decades in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe.
You're messing with the wrong guy, human.
They were created by Kevin Eastman and were inspired by the artwork in 1991 by Stephen Bissette's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles II, The Secret of the Ooze. These lesser-known characters have undergone a number of distinct changes over the years in the various iterations of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. They were first discovered as mindless brutes, but they have endured and, in one instance, have even developed to pose a cosmic threat.
Yourself, you razor-faced dog!
Don't ever call me dog.
You got it, Rahzar!
Now we are exposing Rahzar in a much more detailed way to see how he changed throughout the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' numerous comic books and cinematic appearances. So let's dig in right away. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
The claw is mightier than the sword.
The Thrilling Origins of Rahzar. The cartoon series from 1987's 7th season included just one appearance each for Tokka and Rahzar. They appeared in the 1993 episode of Dirk Savage, Mutant Hunter. Two of the out-of-control mutants produced after the Shredder released Mutated in a zoo years ago were Rahzar and Tokka. Whether this referred to when he made Rocksteady and Bebop or Dirtbag and Groundchuck is ambiguous. When the Turtles arrived, they were initially observed attacking Crystal Palace Mall. The Turtles are pursuing two mutants at the start of the story. Tokka, a snapping turtle, and Rahzar, a wolf. The market they have been in is destroyed, but they can prevent both of them.
Nothing can stand in our way.
Later that day, they see a discussion with the bizarre billionaire A.J. Howard on television. Howard is vehemently anti-mutant and has recruited professional mutant hunter Dirk Savage to round up all the mutant freaks. The Turtles are furious with Dirk Savage because he hunts mutants without discrimination rather than understanding whether they are good or evil mutants. Donatello devises a scheme to have Dirk Savage apprehend a mutant who is sporting a homing device. They go to Mondo Gecko in order to do that, who is delighted to help them. While Rahzar is still free, Dirk Savage has just tended to grab Tokka when he nearly collides with Mondo Gecko, who possesses a skateboard and takes him away.
That little guy was my only friend in the world. I'll get you for this.
Raphael and Donatello successfully locate Mondo Gecko at Howard's mutant jail. There, they see him confess that he's honestly a massive mutant slug who intends to use the many mutants he's caught as his own personal army to rule the human species. Unfortunately, because of the compliance cuffs, the other mutants assault the couple and drive them out of the structure. Savage arrives and is ready to knock out the two turtles when Rahzar strikes him in retaliation for stealing Tokka, one of his friends.
I only had one friend in this world, and you took him.
Savage is taken aback when the Turtles stand up for him against Rahzar, and even more when they identify Howard for him. Donatello decides that perhaps they do need Savage's assistance after all, and reports themselves to the anti-mutant hotline. The animated renditions of particularly Rahzar were wiser and more articulate. Rahzar was a very strong person who once flung Leonardo across a mall while destroying his katana. The Turtles nearly took Tokka, but he damaged a pillar, allowing them to escape. Rahzar tells Tokka at one point, "You are my only friend."
Just how you feel, Rahzar? I'm starving.
Tokka, you're the only friend I've got.
They started eating later that night after finding some food. Unfortunately, Dirk Savage had set a trap to catch the pair, and Tokka was taken prisoner. Rahzar managed to get away from Savage without being caught and vowed to make the man pay. Later, Raphael and Donatello stopped him from attacking Savage.
You can't do this to me. I'll destroy you. I'll tear you apart.
Even when the evil people were vanquished, it was never revealed if Rahzar ever got back together with Tokka, although he made a huge deal out of his buddy being arrested and was subsequently shown fighting Dirk. His cartoon image was quite similar to his action figure, which had been created 2 years prior. Townsend Coleman provided the voice of Rahzar. Rahzar subsequently made an appearance in the 2009 animated film Turtles Forever, also famously known to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles Forever, or TMNT, Turtles Forever, which was created by the TV firm 4Kids Entertainment in honor of the franchise's 25th anniversary. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are eager to deny their master Splinter's claims of negligence when a confrontation between what seems to be the Turtles and the Purple Dragons is recorded on camera. Our Turtles learn that their tricksters are actually alternate dimension copies of them after crashing into the headquarters of the Purple Dragons to investigate these enigmatic doubles. After the Turtles battle Bebop, Rocksteady, and the 1980s Foot Soldiers, the Technodrome escapes. In order to access the 1987 universe, as well as get the weapons the 1987 Turtles often employed to destroy the Technodrome, the Turtles decide to build their own portal device. Oroku Saki locates his parallel equivalent, the Utrom called Shirel, who is currently in frozen banishment on an ice asteroid following his last defeat by the 2003 Turtles, using the Technodrome's technology. While the Turtles are focused on their assignment, Shirel is transferred to the Technodrome. But even when Karai arrives, he swiftly overthrows his clumsy other self and takes charge of the Technodrome after recovering from the intense penetration. Shirel used Dimension X innovation and Utrom scientific methods to invent a fresh robotic exoskeleton for himself, after being exposed to mutagen from the 1987 reality during the earlier conflict. He then sends his right-hand man Hun, who has since transformed into a huge mutant turtle, to find the Turtles. Shirel started overhauling the Technodrome by having some components replaced, engineering the genotoxic samples acquired by Hun to transform some cyberfoots into mutated foot soldiers, 2 of which looked very similar to Rahzar and Tokka, and having the cybertechs invented to succeed the awkward foot soldiers of his 1980s counterpart. Rahzar appeared in the 2012 television series' 4th episode, New Friend, Old Enemy. The first scene of the episode has Chris Bradford, also known as Rahzar, as one of the Shredder's elite goons, practicing with and defeating multiple foot ninjas in a room, which is inside one of the dojos that Bradford owned. The Shredder's back is then shown as yet another senior henchman named Zever, opens a neighboring secret door and slides it open. Bradford rapidly convinces his mentor that he will most definitely succeed because he has just gathered an army of trustworthy soldiers and assured that the foot was to be formally brought back in action. Then Shredder informs Chris that he should hunt down and eliminate Splinter, his long-dead sworn enemy, who is now supposedly coaching his very own team of ninjas. Despite their continued petty antagonism, Bradford and Zever must cooperate if they are to find and eliminate the Splinter and the Turtles. Our heroes stand their ground despite being attacked by countless ninjas, the Foot Clan, including Mikey, who wants to be friends with and believes in humans, as well as Chris Bradford, who is visible on a giant billboard nearby. However, they are shortly attacked by a significantly bigger masked man who turns out to be Chris Bradford himself. He instantly fights the 4 of them, and by employing physical force and total power, he can clearly win the fight. The police come shortly after this brief altercation, and both squads flee without being seen. When Mikey surprises Bradford as he approaches his own home, Bradford starts hitting him with several shurikens. However, after Mikey quickly justifies himself and his despicable deeds, Bradford invites him inside to accompany him.
And then Chris Bradford put on his hakama. Man, that guy can rock a hakama.
When Mikey comes back, he continues to boast about his camaraderie with Bradford and to tease Raph that he was wrong until all 3 Turtles really got sick of listening to him. Meanwhile, the Turtles are all looking into how the Foot must have managed to observe them. Then at the dojo, Mikey examines a 400-year-old katana that has been preserved. When Bradford inquires about his sensei, Mikey responds that certain things should just be kept private. The man then teaches Mikey, against his will, one of his own expert moves, the Death Dragon, which Mikey later imparts to his brothers. Splinter later discovers Bradford's true intentions when he spots an ostensibly ancient familiar move that was applied to him previously during a quick sparring contest between Raph and Leo. As their younger brother leaves to see his new ally once more, they immediately realize that he is in severe danger. As Mikey arrives at Bradford's dojo, he wonders whether a surprise party has been organized for him. When Mikey wonders who his violent attacker is, he is initially driven to make an irrational assumption and inquire if it is the guy with the cat that he bumped into earlier.
We've already met face to face.
No, it can't be.
Bradford then swiftly removes his helmet, though, displaying his face, rendering Mikey totally disgusted. Then Zever suggests killing him, and Bradford asserts that nothing really would cheer him up at this point. He is then assaulted by Chris and Zever simultaneously this time, and despite his valiant efforts to defend himself, he is ultimately overcome and defeated. However, he adds that something else prevents them from attempting this. The two leave the area after turning out all the lights. As soon as they arrive, Leo, Donnie, and Raph manage to free their younger sibling, who both Zever and Bradford ultimately restrained. They return to the sewer, where they are inadvertently followed by a sizable number of foot troops, Zever, who has seen them with the binoculars, and Bradford. On the other hand, the Turtles have cleverly planned for something like this to occur, and they rapidly dispatched every one of the foot soldiers using ropes. They then engaged in combat with Zever and Bradford, who may be considered masters. While both of them can rack up a great battle against our heroes, the Turtles ultimately triumph when their opponents are switched. The two dishonorable villains are finally vanquished when they are dumped down the local sewer drain by Leo and Donnie. Mikey then personally beats Chris by employing the exact same tactic that he had shown him. Later, Mikey is shown being encouraged or consoled by Raph, who is now feeling extremely regretful about how he was seeking the best in people. Raph admits that he is to blame, but he also compliments him on being a great man and informs him that he indeed deserves far better companions than a bunch of unrelated crazy murdering machines. By his brother's encouragement, Mikey immediately unfriends Chris Bradford before slightly grinning in retaliation. The Shredder expresses his dissatisfaction with Zever Montez and Chris Bradford, especially Bradford, for failing to find Splinter and finally getting rid of the Turtles. Bradford then laments the peculiar enormous terrapins that have learned ninjutsu that serve as his enemies. Chris pleads with the Shredder to grant him one last opportunity and promises that he won't let him down, as he really doesn't want to embarrass either his own master or be disgraced by him. Chris feels that there is plenty of room for some atonement. Zever discloses that he's already taken the preventative measure of putting the information out on the roads to keep an excellent eye out for the Turtles, strongly hinted towards his relationship with the Purple Dragons. After that, Zever ensures that when he discovers the creatures, he will scrape all of them out of their casings and drop them at Shredder. Bradford is compelled to graciously accept this because of how meticulous Zever is. Following Fong, the Turtles arrive at the Fortune Cookie Factory, wherein the hooligan tells Bradford and Zever where they last saw the Turtles. Coincidentally, our heroes break in across one of the windows and get into a quick fight before being forced to retreat due to the unexpected arrival of a large number of foot ninjas.
You cold-blooded!
Following this, Zever is shown beating Fong for bringing the Turtles directly to their hiding place before inquiring as to how he and his team were able to see them earlier. Fong responds that a guy named Murakami operated the noodle store. Then Zever comes up with a strategy. Bradford is then obliged to inquire as to how they ensure that the Turtles do not once more succeed in making a swift getaway. The work at hand, Zever responds, is exceptionally straightforward. He'll offer them a solid reason to stick around. Later, when April returns to the noodle restaurant, she discovers that Murakami has been stolen and that a message indicating that Murakami is being kept captive at the peak of the Fortune Cookie Factory has been left behind. Then Leo decides that no more Mr. Nice Turtle is necessary. They therefore locate Bradford, capture him, and imprison him inside a convenient garbage can, before transporting him to the apparent site where the Purple Dragons and Zever are keeping Murakami prisoner by hanging him from a rope. The Turtles then threaten Bradford with being thrown from the building unless Zever lets the unfortunate man go.
I love it when a change of plans comes together.
You let our friend go, and we'll let your
When a
friend
rope
go.
is holding up Murakami, Zever suddenly declares that he doesn't bother about his buddy's well-being. He then gently starts to cut the rope. Raph then seems to be about to throw Bradford, but he restrains himself. Then, once Zever successfully takes advantage of the situation, a boatload of foot ninjas suddenly appear, on cue, and they are directed to launch an attack. The battle between our heroes is entirely drawn out this time. Just as the Turtles appear to be almost beaten by sheer numbers, as they were last time, Fong, fortunately, throws one of Leonardo's ninja blades to the ground, since Leo was the one who had earlier spared him. Leo takes the chance to slash a waterfront, rinsing all of the evil ones off the tower, just in time to save Murakami. They soon accompany him back to the restaurant. The chef then presents them with an abundance of pizza gyoza out of gratitude. The Shredder then proceeds to criticize Zever Montez and Chris Bradford at the Foot HQ, even going so far as to express regret for creating them in his vision after they failed to put an end to the Turtles. One final time, Montez tries to reason with the Shredder, but the Shredder rejects him and says he will now eliminate the Turtles on his own. Montez manages an unusually repulsive fish, while Bradford and Montez are in an Asian seafood market. They get a text message from a foot ninja informing them of the Turtles' plans when Bradford and Montez decide to ambush them in an effort to win back their master's favor.
Piece of cake.
Let's do this.
We need you to wait here, April.
Are you crazy? My dad's
The
in
rest
there.
of the Turtles try to convince Bradford and Montez that the bomb may cause chaos and wipe them all out, but both the baddies would rather die bravely than have their lord think they were to blame for their rage. Bradford and Montez finally became trapped directly near the explosives when Donnie joined the fight against them. They are given a chance to submit by Leo, but they reject him. The Turtles manage to avoid the massive flood of mutagen that is released as a result of Bradford using his sword to puncture a mutagen tank that is a component of the dormant bomb. Still, Bradford and Montez fail to do so and are blown off the tower with an unknown end. Leo is about to be executed when the sight of Montez and Bradford abruptly deters the Shredder. He becomes preoccupied and the Turtles are able to flee. They have been transformed into Asian fish with two-pointed teeth and stick-like arms, and towering dogs with spikes all over their body, respectively. They are all feeling guilty, down, and humbled as they return to the lair. In the end, they concur with Splinter that they have been cocky and unprepared to face the Shredder. They were extremely fortunate, Splinter informs them. Few people have ever survived a confrontation with the Shredder, but their overconfidence no longer matters. He advises his boys to get ready, since they are now in a fight. Chris Bradford's background is unknown, but we do know that he had been born in New York City in 1979 to an affluent family, and that he spent many years being groomed as a valued Foot Clan member in Shredder's likeness, running a network of dojos across the nation to find foot soldiers. When Bradford first appears in this episode, Shredder gives him the task of working alongside Zebra Montez to find Hamato Yoshi and his purported ninja army. It is evident that Michelangelo admires him greatly and desires to be his buddy.
He's your soulmate.
We've got so much in common.
What if you stopped standing like that?
On a website, Bradford accepts Mikey's buddy request, so Mikey travels to meet him. After first attacking Mikey, Bradford recalls his previous meeting with the Turtles when he used to be a member of the Foot Clan. For the remainder of the episode, Bradford pretends to be Mikey's friend and gives Mikey the impression that he is nice. Bradford creeps up on Mikey as he tries to spend time with him again while wearing his combat gear, leaving Mikey unaware that it is Chris Bradford. After attacking Mikey, he is tied up and used as bait by him and Montez for the rest of the Turtles. Mikey was devastated to learn that it was Bradford. When the Turtles save Mikey, they return him to the gutters, but Montez, the Foot, and Bradford are observing from a rooftop. The Foot troops then enter the gutters, but the Turtles understood it was a ploy all along, so they kill each one of them individually. Then they are forced to fight Montez and Bradford, and they struggle to do so. The other Turtles then entice Bradford and Montez to a sewer entrance as Mikey employs a technique that Bradford had employed against him. When Leonardo twists a crank while Bradford and Montez are stuck, all the sewer systems shoot out of the entrance, hitting them and pushing them farther into the sewer. As his revenge, Mikey unfriends Bradford at the end of this chapter. In Never Say Zever, Montez orders Bradford after Bradford lets down Shredder. To discover the Turtles, the two seek the assistance of the street group Purple Dragons. When Montez kidnaps the Turtles' pal Murakami, the Turtles kidnap Bradford in retaliation. When the bargain falls through, Chris can break free and join the fight, but a powerful wave of water once more carries away him and Montez.
Token of my gratitude.
Pizza gyoza! Awesome! Thanks, Murakami-san!
He appeared as a poster at the store in the Season 4 episode In Dreams, and in the episode The Weird World of Worm. He appeared as Mikey's orderly in Mikey's Head. He made a cameo appearance in Invasion of the Squirrelinoids as a life-size cardboard cutout of his human form. In Pizza Face, he made a second cameo as a life-size cardboard cutout of his human body. At the start of the episode, Shredder's dog, Akita Hachiko, bites Bradford. Later, he and Montez engage in combat with the Turtles atop the Wolf Hotel. When they cannot escape, Bradford declares, "If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me," and uses his sword to slash a sizable container of mutagen in a desperate attempt to kill them. The mutagen covers them as they plummet down the building and are only washed away by him and Montez. After being bitten by Hachiko, Bradford develops into an 8-foot-tall anthropomorphic Akita, with a big left arm and several enormous jagged spikes. Just as Shredder is about to strike Leo with the last blow, he climbs back up, distracting Shredder. Shredder is enraged when the Turtles escape. Bradford was spotted protecting Shredder's lair in Panic-in Sewers. When the Turtles battled him, they quickly realized that he was far too powerful for them to overcome. Mikey grants him the moniker Dog Pound after this battle. Additionally to fighting the Turtles once more, Dog Pound took part in the tanker truck hijacking. They couldn't completely beat him, but they were able to thwart his plot to pour deadly acid into sewers. Dog Pound, who has seized control of the Purple Dragons following Fishface's mutation in Mauser's attack, enjoys tormenting Fishface by rapping on the tank's glass. He discovers how important April O'Neil's phone would be if it were to belong to her turtle buddy, while one of the dragons delivers it to him. When the other gang members bring in Baxter Stockman, Dog Pound hires him to infiltrate the phone. When Mikey and Donnie, who had broken away from their brothers because they felt inferior, attempted to retrieve it, Bradford kidnapped them. Bradford reasoned that the phone might not have revealed the location of the lair. The oldest brothers soon come to the youngest's aid.
And finished.
The Turtles.
Then, with the help of Donnie and Mikey, the Turtles can crush him by directing a legion of Mousers against him, earning the respect of their brothers. He grabs Stockman as he runs away. He delivers him to Shredder, who decides to make use of the scientist's skills. Dog Pound's only acting in the alien agenda is to make fun of Fishface's prosthetic legs. In Baxter's Gambit, Dog Pound and Fishface make a comeback and threaten and scold Stockman. He and Fishface will act as lures to draw the Turtles and themselves into the maze of doom. He strikes a short-term ceasefire with the gang. He is trapped in the labyrinth alongside Mikey, Donnie, and Leo. He and his team ultimately defeat Stockman, but they must return to their headquarters since they are too worn out to continue fighting. Due to their most recent failure to defeat the Turtles, Dog Pound is defeated by Shredder at the beginning of Pulverizer Returns. Later on, when he tried to rob Mutagen from the Krang, he, Fishface, and other Foot Clan members assaulted the Turtles with various weapons. He is present when the Pulverizer later develops a mutation and attempts to murder the Turtles and him by imprisoning them in a repository. They all manage to flee though, eradicating the neurotoxin in the process.
Our mutagen supply was lost in the explosion. They have dismantled my army.
He is interrogated by Fishface about Hamato Yoshi in Showdown. As they wait for Splinter to arrive, Dog Pound tells him the narrative. Splinter overcomes Dog Pound and Fishface after taking out the rest of the Foot Clan members. When Dog Pound gets into a vat of mutagen, and Mikey gets Shalakni, he mutates into a skeleton werewolf with four-toned fur, a longer nose, and bigger fangs. Although he was electrocuted, he will recover. When he emerges, he informs Mikey that now that he is stronger, he begins to feel like a samurai once more, and he promises to repay Mikey by hastening his demise. He asks Mikey to stop calling him Dog Pound, so Mikey offers him the even better moniker, Rahzar, instead. In this episode, Rahzar resurfaces in Wormquake. Shredder believes he looks terrible. He instructs the Footbots to fetch the retro mutagen canister in Lonely Mutation of Baxter Stockman. In the episode The Legend of Kuro Kabuto, Rahzar makes another appearance as Tiger Claw looks for Anton Zek.
Absolutely. Sever is always saying, "Oh, Tiger Claw must hate you because you're a dog."
He and Fishface get sidetracked by Michelangelo's shadow puppetry in Vengeance is Mine. He rubbed Mikey's left arm with a scrape during the altercation. Rahzar then lost his balance and tumbled into a garbage can. He only made a brief appearance in The Invasion to deliver the Leonardo-related news. Leo then beats him up, but he's still able to defend himself. In the episode Vision Quest in the third season, Rahzar makes a comeback as a spiritual vision battling Mystic Michelangelo, along with the help of the foot soldiers. Rahzar and Fishface are given the mission by Shredder to find the mutant Karai in Serpent Hunt.
You will find her or I will turn you both over to Tiger Claw. He is bored of having little...
Both of them attack Karai and the Turtles inside the warehouse, under the fear that Shredder would hand them over to none other than Tiger Claw if they lose, and successfully capture Karai. But as they start to argue over who would accompany Karai to Shredder, Anton Zek steals both Fishface's motorbike and Karai herself. After Zek and Steranko are captured, Rahzar can be seen beating Steranko and laughing at Zek and Steranko's impending transformation. He also tricks Steranko into stepping into the mutagen vat, turning him into Rocksteady. While in Casey Jones vs. the Underworld, Rahzar is first noticed assisting Fishface in stealing some compounds for Shredder's mind control serum. But just as they are about to leave, Casey Jones emerges and hits Fishface with his hockey stick. Rahzar only makes an appearance at the beginning of the episode alongside Tiger Claw, Stockman Fly, and Fishface, while observing Shredder fight Rocksteady and Bebop in The Pig and the Rhino. Rahzar is subsequently seen battling Mikey in the Almond Chemicals factory. In the crowd watching Fishface compete against Casey, Mondo Gecko, and Mikey is Rahzar. Fishface gets defeated in Meet Mondo Gecko, and he and the others storm off in anger. In Attack of the Mega Shredder, Rahzar was seen napping in the Shredder's lair. At the same time, Mike and Leo broke in to steal a brainworm. And in Annihilation Earth, he assisted in fighting the Triceratons and stopped the Heart of Darkness from the beginning. He is subsequently slain, though, when the Triceratons obliterate Earth. He discloses that the Foot Clan keeps a number of illicit weaponry in the rear when he, Fishface, and Tiger Claw pursue Shinigami and Karai to a martial arts shop in City at War. He votes to devour Karai and Shinigami while they are deadlocked, but Tiger Claw declines.
We defeated you and all?
We will never leave until you and Splinter are put to rest!
team.
Later, he battles Mikey and Shinigami. The Turtles had scattered several explosives throughout the warehouse before they escaped. When the three mutants attempted to go at the exact moment, they got jammed in the doorway, and the factory exploded. Rahzar is viewing his own animated series, Chris Bradford's Too Rough Crew, in The Super Shredder, until Baxter tells him that Shredder needs him to participate in the Splinter Trap. Rahzar is a bit let down because it was in an advantageous area. In Shredder's former hideout, he and the Tiger Claw face off against Shinigami, Karai, and the latter's own Foot Clan. Then he allows Shredder to enter in his newfound mutant form. He attempts to assist his master, but Shredder won't accept aid and imprisons Karai instead. Rahzar snatches Mikey and declares that he has always longed to see him outside his shell. Rahzar and Tiger Claw utilize a train to remove April and the Turtles from Splinter. He is thrown from the train by Donatello along with April, and after being smacked, it is uncertain if he is still alive. Rahzar managed to live after being struck by the train, as is shown in The Power Inside Her. He aids in the theft of mutagen from a Krang facility by Fishface, Tiger Claw, and Shredder to keep Shredder's mutation alive. As he could not wait any longer to see the Turtles, Casey decided to face them. He gets the trio out of the van, but as he was driving, he struck some trash and came to rest in an alley. After Fishface is knocked unconscious, April arrives to help him, and Rahzar decides to assault her from behind, but is hit by a dumpster when the three mutants are about to kill him. Rahzar and Fishface alert Super Shredder about Karai's current covert position in Requiem after discovering it. Fishface, Rahzar, Rocksteady, and Bebop later face up against Leonardo, Michelangelo, Leatherhead, and Donatello at the defunct Coney Island amusement park. Rahzar knocks Leonardo onto the floor, and in a fit of rage, Leatherhead throws Rahzar off the pier, drowning him. In The Forgotten Swordsman, Fishface finds Rahzar's corpse at the bottom of the ocean and raises him to the surface. Rahzar is resurrected by a seance when he gets to Cavaxis and Tiger Claw's hideaway.
Instructor is Casey Jones. Did you really just say that, kid?
Rahzar in the IDW comic pages. Rahzar is a young mutant gray wolf who first appears in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 111 in the IDW canon. Rahzar, as well as another mutant, Tokka, were put under arrest by Old Hob and kept in a holding cell in Mutanimals headquarters in Mutant Town. Oroku Karai went to see Hob at the Mutanimals HQ to work out a different arrangement since Koya had earlier failed to obtain the shipment of the three scumbags Hob had initially agreed to provide the Foot Clan as potential recruits. Rahzar and Tokka caught Karai's attention as she knew she had to have them as fresh recruits.
Play. Have fun.
Marvelous trivia about the Rahzar. Rahzar originally made an appearance in 1991's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles II, Secret of the Ooze, in place of Bebop and Rocksteady, with Tokka, a mutant snapping turtle. Frank Welker provided the voice for them both. Alongside Tokka, Rahzar made a cameo in one of the authentic animated series episodes. In the TMNT series from 2003, Rahzar had a fleeting guest appearance. Even yet, the new Rahzar behaves and looks very different from the old Rahzar. Chris Bradford looks a lot like Chuck Norris in human form. His helmeted look appears to have been influenced by the Shredder from the original comic books. Young Samurai is a book series that a genuine Chris Bradford has authored. He owns a black belt in several martial art styles, incidentally. What powers make Rahzar a formidable TMNT villain? He is familiar with Death Dragon, ninjutsu, and the specific maneuver Shredder showed him that Yoshi used to defeat Splinter. In order to teach his students, including Mikey, this prohibited skill, he must be an excellent teacher. He is capable of being more than an athlete, thanks to his strength, stamina, and endurance. His speed was on par with that of an athlete. He is seen to be carrying about a 3,000-year-old ancient katana. With his heightened senses from being dog-pound, he was able to locate Stockman's lab and overhear the Turtles and April talking. He also possesses a keen sense of smell, since he was able to sniff Zack in the Shredder's cave and was able to get near his prey until the trail got weaker. Rahzar's keen sense of smell is now better. He can see clearly in the dark. As dog-pound, he has increased strength and can use a vehicle as a melee weapon because of his extended arm. He is rumored to be stronger than Rahzar, albeit he has not really demonstrated it. He is slower than dog-pound due to his weight. He can now sprint considerably more quickly than previously, and even quicker than the Turtles. As dog-pound, he has excellent reflexes that allow him to grab opponents from behind and hurl them. He has lost all of his weight, making Rahzar more flexible and agile than before. He had a more significant vertical leap than Tiger Claw. With his fine claw projection, he may attack with his various claws. He can use his pointed claws to scale structures. He demonstrated human intelligence, and his mutations have allowed him to keep it. He can still scream, growl, and whine while speaking in a voice that is deeper than dread. His stamina is incredibly high as Dog Pound, since he can chase, battle, and do everything for a lot longer than he could as a human, receiving some blows from the turtles. His spikes protect his body from attacks from the turtles, while his resilient physique can endure an explosion without suffering any injuries. He can defeat Mikey and the other 3 turtles thanks to Rahzar's increased power. Rahzar even electrified himself twice, once from the ocean to put himself to sleep. Where else has Rahzar featured? Rahzar was a subordinate of the Shredder as well as a friend of Tokka. He was a mutant gray wolf, and he made his debut in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles II, The Secret of the Ooze movie in 1991. Mark Ginther portrayed the role of Rahzar. Frank Welker provided the voices for both of them. Throughout the film, his name is alternately pronounced as Rahzar and Rahzar. In the video games canon of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles III, The Manhattan Project, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtle in Time, Rahzar and Tokka served as the bosses. All iterations of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtle in Time feature Tokka and Rahzar. They are the rulers of the sailboat level in the classic arcade game, but in the Super NES remake, they have been transferred to the brand new Technodrome level. They work as a double boss in tandem. In the SNES version, they may collaborate on assaults. One of their maneuvers involves Rahzar jumping on top of Tokka and riding across the screen erratically like a skateboard. They have the same poor intellect as in the movie, which shows in the game, as they frequently inadvertently attack each other rather than the player and suffer damage as a result. When the player beats them in the video game, they demutate into regular animals, much like in the movie. Rahzar can be attacked upon his demutation. He lets out a yelp. Additionally, the names of these characters are spelled according to the movie rather than the subsequent TV program. Rahzar also appeared in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles III, The Manhattan Project on the NES. Prior to Shredder in the Technodrome level, Rahzar makes an appearance and launches an icy breath assault. In the 2009 version of Turtles in Time for PlayStation Network and Xbox Live Arcade, Rahzar reprises his previous performance. Rahzar has Fire Breath in Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo, but has Ice Breath for the Manhattan Project. Dog Pound is a boss character and an unlockable character in the 2013 video game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rooftop Run. In the 2013 video game and in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Danger of the Ooze, Clancy Brown provided his voice. Rahzar is played by Chris again in Danger of the Ooze. In Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shadow Heroes, Chris Bradford may be seen on a billboard, while in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Legends, the following characters can be unlocked: Rahzar, Dog Pound, and Bradford.
Got you, Rahzar! Let's play Walk the Dog!
The boss character of all time. Dog Pound and Rahzar, or one part mutt and one part man, are all bad. This razor-backed warrior has been reincarnated twice, and has been modified both times by the Krang, under martial arts teacher Chris Bradford.
Krang and Fishface and Dog Pound? I must be dreaming. Pinch me. Ow.
Dog Pound, who is fiercely devoted to the Foot Clan, is unrestrained and prepared to attack anybody dumb enough to stand in his way. His biting and fighting skills match those of any turtle he encounters. Dog Pound transforms into a quicker, stronger, and more powerful dog after getting in touch with the Ooze once more, albeit he's still not quite a man's greatest friend. Rahzar's newfound power increases his hazard to the turtles due to his intense hate for them and dedication to Shredder. Chris Bradford is revealed to be egotistical, arrogant, haughty, and cunning. Bradford has minimal regard for people who live in a lesser class than he does, as seen by the fact that he declined to collaborate with Zever because he was impoverished. This is also evident when he shows Mikey his true colors. Only himself, his needs, and impressing Shredder are essential to him. He is as tenacious as Dog Pound, always seeking methods to uphold his master's honor and triumph over the turtles. He still has his previous personality, and even now, he is the dangerous, ferocious beast known as Rahzar. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks, everyone.